Honorable Speaker, sir.
बोलिए श्रीनिवास जी.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I rise with great pride to speak on the demand for grants for the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare 2026-27. Sir, I must begin by acknowledging the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and the commitment of our Honorable Agriculture Minister, Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji, towards the strengthening India's agriculture sector. Over the past decade, India's food grain production has increased by nearly 44%. At the same time, the government is moving towards the creating digital identities for nearly 11 crore farmers, ensuring that every farmer became visible in the system and every entitlement reach rightful beneficiary. Further, under the Viksit Krishi Sankalp Abhiyan, 2,170 teams of scientists engaged directly with over 1.34 crore farmers across 1.42 lakh villages, taking research, innovation and scientific guidance directly to the farmer's doorstep. Coming to the budget, sir, the total allocation of 1,40,529 crore, a 5.4% increase over last year, reflects the government's continued commitment to agriculture. The 63,500 crore allocation under PM Kisan, benefiting more than 10 crore farmer families, continues to provide direct and dignified income support. I also warmly welcome the creation of the Fund for Innovation and Adaptation of Technology to support initiatives such as S-Techs and WINDS. Technology must become the new ally of the Indian farmer, and this government is steadily making the transition possible. However, sir, today I wish to speak for those farmers whose policies often mentioned, but systems sometimes fail to reach. Our small, marginal and tenant farmers. Across the India, millions cultivate land they do not formally own, and yet they remain excluded from schemes such as PM Kisan due to the land ownership requirements. They feed the nation, but too often remain invisible in the system. In this context, sir, I would like to acknowledge my party president, Shri Pawan Kalyan garu, who has been a long, steadfast voice for the tenant farmers. At a time when their distress was being overlooked by the previous government in the state and suicides among the tenant farmers were rising, he did not remain a silent spectator. He personally reached out to the grieving families and committed 30 crores from his own earnings, provided 1 lakh to each of the families for nearly 3,000 tenant farmers who had taken their lives. Sir, this was not politics, this was humanity. I also commend this government for extending the Kisan credit card scheme to the tenant farmers and OLSs. A progressive and inclusive step. However, on the ground, most banks continue to insist the land ownership documents before sanctioning the KCC. A tenant farmer does not own the land title, and so despite the policy existing on paper, lakhs of tenant farmers continue to be turned away by the bank counters. So therefore, I urge the government to issue clear guidelines directing banks not to reject the KCC applications solely on the grounds of absence of the land title. More fundamentally, sir, I strongly urge the government to create a tenant farmer ID linked to the AgriStack and the digital farmer ID currently being rolled out. If we can digitally identify 11 crore farmers, surely we can identify those who cultivated the land without owning it. A tenant farmer ID verified at the village and panchayat level could bring millions of individual cultivators into the formal system and making them eligible for KCC, PM Kisan, crop insurance and every entitled they deserve. Sir, the farmer who owns the land and the farmer who tills the land must both be seen as this government. Honorable Speaker, sir, I also welcome the 201 crore allocated for strengthening Krishi Vignan Kendras. However, there is a specific gap that needs attention. Andhra Pradesh has 24 KVVs. Post-purification of the district of Kakinada, one of the most productive regions of the Godavari Delta, known for paddy cultivation and seafood exports, still does not have a single KVV. I have written to the Honorable Minister and once I again urge the government to sanction Krishi Vignan Kendra for Kakinada at the earliest. I wholeheartedly support this demand for grants with few suggestions. I urge the Ministry of ensure that these policies reach smallest field and most marginalized cultivators. Thank you. Jai Hind.